It's been about 2 years since I've made my first engine cleaning video using the Armor All tire foam, and it's been about 14 months since I made the update video. Now, I caught a lot of flack for those videos and using the tire foam to clean the engine. And I know for sure I said it in at least one of the videos that using tire foam is not going to be the best, most thorough way to clean an engine, but it does a pretty good job. And it keeps you from using a whole lot of water on your engine. And I know for a lot of people, with all the electronics on today's engines, that's a big concern. I did have a lot of positive comments, especially from people who have used that method for many years. I've used it for about 20 years now without any issues at all. And it does do a pretty good job. But I did hear comments, everything from it's going to catch your engine on fire to you've completely ruined your engine, and you know your battery's going to explode and it's going to tear up your alternator. Well, again, 20 years of using that on every vehicle that I've owned for hundreds of thousands of miles collectively, and not one single issue. So you can choose to listen to someone who's used it for that long, or you can choose to listen to someone who has absolutely no experience using it and is trying to scare you and say that, you know, all this bad stuff is going to happen and you're going to eat your wires and all kind of nonsense. If you haven't seen that first video, I'll put a link to it right here. It's only about 6 minutes long, so it's not really a long video. Today I'm going to be using the Dupray Neat steam cleaner, some microfiber towels, and I'll be using this little brush. I'm not going to be using any type of degreaser or anything else. So that's why I titled the video, Almost No Water. I'm going to be using literally ounces of water to clean the engine. I also did a video on using the Dupray Neat steam cleaner to clean the interior of a vehicle. So I'll link that right here so you can check that out if you want. Okay, so here's 14 months of not messing with the engine at all. And there is a little dust on the engine, which is to be expected after over a year of not doing any cleaning or maintenance on it at all. Alright guys, I am done with the engine, or I'm done at least as far as I'm willing to go. I ended up using 3 rags, part of that rag, so 3.5 rags to clean it, and also the brush a little bit. The engine looks pretty good. Again, it wasn't super dirty, even though it's been 14 months since I used the tire foam on it last. But the steamer does a pretty good job. The drawbacks of the steamer are, number one, my truck, it sits pretty high to begin with because it's a 4x4, and in addition to that, I have a 2.5-inch lift on the front, so that makes it extremely difficult to get to these back areas. I use both a stepping stool and a ladder, but even with that, it's still really hard to reach those areas. But there's no disputing that the steamer does a really good job cleaning your engine, and it's going to do even better than the tire foam. But I think it boils down to how much time and effort you want to put into it. I spent almost 2 hours on this engine and a lot of elbow grease, and the nooks and crannies are still really hard to get into. Even right here on the air filter box, these little corners, I steamed these, I brushed them, I used a towel, and you can see there's still crud in the corners. So the only way you're going to be able to get into these little tight areas is with a super tiny brush or with something like a Q-tip. Back here you can still see some dust. In here and down deep into the engine compartment, it's also going to be extremely hard to get to. For me personally, the engine does not have to be 100% clean, especially considering if something that's in a vehicle is going to be exposed to the elements and it's going to get dirty no matter what. If this was a show vehicle, I would probably be a little more meticulous about the engine. As an overall, the steamer worked really good. You're just going to have to put in some time and effort into it, and of course you're going to have a steamer. The Dupray run about $180, $190 right now, so that's something to be considered also. You could probably use one of the smaller handheld steamers, but the drawbacks of those are they're probably going to be harder to get into some of the areas, and they don't hold as much water, so they're not going to make as much steam for as long. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.